Welcome to Sleep Stories. I am Riaan Roux, and I understand the struggle of not being able to fall asleep. With these stories, I hope to create a peaceful atmosphere to help you drift off into peaceful sleep. The following story is from Norse popular tales and is called The Old Woman and Her Hen. Original story by Sir George Webbe Dasent. Modern story re-editing by Riaan Roux. Once upon a time, there was an elderly widow who lived in a secluded, picturesque cottage nestled amidst the rolling hills, far away from the hustle and bustle of the rest of the world, with her 3 devoted daughters by her side. Despite their beautiful surroundings, the family's life was one of utter poverty as the widow struggled to make ends meet. She had little to her name, save for a little hen, which she held dear to her heart, with an affection akin to that of a mother for her child. The hen was always by her side, its incessant cackles filling the air as she tirelessly tended to its every need, providing it with food and water, and ensuring that it was comfortable and warm. The hen, in turn, provided the widow and her daughters with eggs, which were their only source of protein. The hen was more than just a source of sustenance for the family. It was also a companion, and its absence would be deeply felt. However, one fateful day, the hen went missing, without a trace. The old widow frantically scoured the area around her humble cottage, her eyes scanning the landscape as she called out for her beloved feathered companion. She searched high and low, scouring the surrounding fields, and even venturing into the nearby forest, but to no avail. Despite her tireless search, the hen was nowhere to be found, and her heart was heavy with sadness and despair. The loss of her hen was not just a financial setback for the family. It was also an emotional blow. The hen had been a constant companion for the widow, and its absence left a gaping hole in her life. She was inconsolable, and her daughters did their best to console her, but nothing could fill the void left by the missing hen. The loss of the hen was a reminder of the family's precarious position, and they knew that they would have to find a way to survive without it. The woman, feeling a sense of determination and urgency, turned to her eldest daughter and said, "We must find our beloved hen, even if we have to search every inch of this hill. I want you to go out and scour the area. Leave no stone unturned until you find it." The daughter was prepared to go out and search for the missing hen. She walked around, looking and calling for the hen, but she couldn't find it. Suddenly, as she was about to give up the search, she heard a voice coming from a crevice in the rock calling out, "Your hen is inside the hill. Your hen is inside the hill." She decided to investigate the voice and entered the crevice. However, as soon as she set foot inside, she fell through a trapdoor and found herself deep underground in a vault. She explored the many rooms she found there, each one more beautiful than the last. In the innermost room, she encountered an enormous and unsightly man of the hill, who approached her and asked, "Will you be my girlfriend?" She firmly refused the man's proposal. "No, I will not," she said. She would not accept him under any circumstances. All she wanted was to escape the underground vault and find her lost hen. The man, in a fit of anger, killed her by wringing her neck and throwing her head and body down into a cellar. Meanwhile, the girl's mother sat at home anxiously waiting for her daughter's return, but she never did. After waiting for a while longer and not seeing or hearing from her daughter, the mother asked her middle daughter to go out and look for her sister and to call for the missing hen as well. The middle daughter had no choice but to go out and search for her missing sister and the hen. She walked around looking and calling for them, but just like her sister, she too heard a voice coming from the crevice in the rock saying, "Your hen is inside the hill. Your hen is inside the hill." The middle daughter found the voice calling out from the crevice in the rock strange and decided to investigate. As she entered the crevice, she fell through the same trapdoor her sister did and found herself deep underground in the same vault. She explored the many rooms she found there, and in the innermost room she encountered the same enormous and unsightly man of the hill, who approached her and asked, "Will you be my girlfriend?" She refused the man's proposal, just like her sister, and all she wanted was to escape the underground vault and find her lost hen. However, the man became angry and killed her by wringing her neck and throwing her head and body down into a cellar. The mother, who had been waiting anxiously for her second daughter to return for a long time, but saw and heard nothing of her, turned to her youngest daughter and said, "You must go out and look for your sisters. It was unfortunate that we lost the hen, but it would be even more unfortunate if we lost both of your sisters. And while you're at it, you can also call for the hen." The mother's heart was still set on finding her lost hen. The youngest daughter started her search for her sisters and calling for the lost hen. She walked around looking and calling for them, and like her sisters, she could not find them. Eventually, she too came across the same crevice in the rock and heard the same voice calling out from it, "Your hen is inside the hill. Your hen is inside the hill." The youngest daughter found the voice calling out from the crevice in the rock strange, so she too decided to investigate. As she entered the crevice, she fell through the same trapdoor as her sisters and found herself deep underground in the same vault. Unlike her sisters, however, she took her time to explore the many rooms she found there, each one grander than the last. As she was peeking into the different rooms, she looked down into the trapdoor that led to the cellar and saw her sisters lying dead there. She barely had time to close the trapdoor before the man of the hill came to her and asked, "Will you be my girlfriend?" "With all my heart, I'll be your girlfriend," said the youngest daughter, as she had seen what happened to her sisters. The man of the hill was overjoyed when he heard this, and provided her with the finest clothes and anything else she desired. He was extremely happy that someone had agreed to be his girlfriend. After some time of living with the man of the hill, the youngest daughter became increasingly sad and gloomy. The man of the hill noticed her change in mood and asked her what was wrong and why she was feeling down. "I really miss my mother," she said. "I know she's struggling to find food and drink, and she's all alone." "I can't let you go see her," said the man of the hill. "But you can put some food and drink in a bag, and I will take it to her for you." The youngest daughter agreed with the man of the hill's suggestion, thanking him for it. She then cleverly placed a large amount of gold and silver at the bottom of the sack, and only added a small amount of food on top of it, hiding the valuable items. The youngest daughter informed the man of the hill that the bag was ready, and warned him not to open it or look inside it. So he gave his word he wouldn't, and set off. As the man of the hill walked away, the youngest daughter peered out after him through a small opening in the trapdoor. But after only a short distance, he said, "Wow, this bag is really heavy. I'm just going to see what's inside," he said. He was about to open the top of the bag, but the girl shouted out to him, "I see what you're trying to do. I see what you're trying to do." "Oh, really?" said the man of the hill. "Well, you must have very sharp eyes then." He carried the bag over his shoulder and did not dare to look into it. When he arrived at the old widow's cottage, he tossed the bag inside the door and said, "Here you go. Your daughter sent you some food and drink. She is well cared for and has everything she needs." After some time, a billy goat accidentally fell down the trapdoor. The man of the hill became angry. "Where did you come from? Who invited you here, you long-haired beast?" And then he killed the goat by twisting its head off and throwing it down into the cellar. The girl responded, "Why did you do that? I could have kept the goat as a pet, and it could have kept me company down here." "Oh, don't be so upset," said the man of the hill. "I can easily bring the billy goat back to life." He then took a flask that was hanging on the wall, reattached the billy goat's head to its body, and applied some ointment from the flask. The goat came back to life, as if nothing had happened. The girl thought to herself, "Wow, whatever is in that flask is magical." After some more time, the girl waited for an opportunity when the man of the hill was away, and took her elder sister's head and placed it on her shoulders. Then she applied some of the ointment from the flask, just as she had seen the man of the hill do with the billy goat, and her sister came back to life instantly. She then stuffed her sister into a bag, placed some food on top, and when the man of the hill returned, she said to him, "Please take this food to my mother again. She's probably both hungry and thirsty, and she's all alone." The girl said, "But remember, don't look inside the bag." The man of the hill agreed to carry the bag and said he would not look inside it. But as he walked, he thought the bag was very heavy. As he walked a bit further, he thought to himself, "I must see what's inside this bag. She can't see me from this far away." As he was about to untie the bag, the girl inside the bag called out, "I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing." "What the hell? You must have very sharp eyes," said the man of the hill. thinking it was still the girl inside the hill speaking. So he didn't dare peek inside the bag again, but carried it straight to the girl's mother as quickly as he could. When he reached the cottage door, he threw the bag inside and shouted, "Here you have meat and drink from your daughter. She wants for nothing." Now, after some time had passed, the girl repeated the same process with her other sister. She placed her head on her shoulders, applied the ointment from the flask, brought her back to life, and put her in a bag. This time, she also added as much gold and silver as the bag could hold, and just a small amount of food on top. "Can you please take this bag of food to my poor mother? She's really struggling and could use the help. And don't open the bag." He set off on his journey with the bag, but as he walked, he noticed that the bag seemed to be very heavy. When he had gone a bit further, he found it difficult to carry the bag any longer and set it down. He was tempted to untie the string and look inside the sack, but just as he was about to do so, the girl inside the sack called out, "I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing." "Wow, you must have really sharp eyes," said the man of the hill, surprised at the girl's ability to see what he was doing. He didn't try to look into the bag again and quickly brought it to the girl's mother's house, throwing it through the door, and he roared out, "Here you have food from your daughter. She wants for nothing." So after some time had passed, the man of the hill decided to go out for the day. During this time, the girl pretended to be ill and sad, and she pouted and fretted. She told him that she wouldn't be able to have dinner ready until after midnight, because she was feeling so sick. But as soon as he left, she stuffed some of her clothes with straw, creating a dummy, and placed it in the corner by the chimney, with a broom in its hand, to make it appear as if she was still in the house. After that, she went home and got a marksman to stay with her mother. Late that night, after 12 o'clock, the man of the hill came home, and the first thing he said was, "Give me something to eat." But there was no response at all. "Give me something to eat, I say," called the man of the hill, "for I am almost starved." There was no response. "Give me something to eat," the man of the hill roared for the third time. "I think you better open your ears and hear what I say, or I'll wake you up, that I will." However, she didn't respond to him and remained motionless. He became angry and hit her, causing the straw to scatter around the room. He realized he had been deceived and searched everywhere for the girl. When he discovered her sisters were missing from the cellar, he realized what had happened and ran off to the cottage, determined to take revenge. But when he reached the cottage, the marksman shot at him, and then the man of the hill dared not go near the house, for he thought it was thunder. So he set off home again as fast as he could. But he was not quick enough, and just as he got to the trapdoor, the sun rose over the horizon, and the man of the hill burst into a shower of gold and silver, falling down into the trapdoor. If one only knew the location of that trapdoor, it is likely that there is still a vast amount of gold and silver down there.